They know the historical ramifications of how heavy a favorite the Celtics are. I mean, you heard it right there. They are the third biggest. Well, I guess he put it this way. If the Mavericks win, it'd be the third biggest NBA Finals upset since the merger. We don't really talk about basketball in those terms. The merger, the ABA merger. When was that? 76?
Something like that, yes.
Okay, so, you don't hear that very often, but since the merger, it'd be the third biggest upset in the finals in NBA history. I have more numbers for you that just illustrate how heavy a favorite the Celtics are.
It was 76, by the way. You got it right.
Okay. Does it feel that way? Does it feel like they should be that heavy a favorite? Are they that heavy a favorite? Do you feel that in your heart that they're that heavy a favorite?
Yeah, I do. Some of this, and maybe this is a me issue, this Dallas thing with how their defense is and, they're a different team. I'm not buying it. And these acquisitions they made at the trade deadline with the Gafford from Washington, the guy from Charlotte, PJ Washington. Okay, you got a couple of mobile bigs, and it does look like they're doing things defensively a little bit differently, and they matched up better with that Western Conference final against Minnesota. But for what the Celtics can do and how deep the Celtics are, I get, Doncic has been ridiculous. I would say he is the best player in this upcoming series. But beyond that, okay, Kyrie's had this renaissance on and off the court. But besides those two, I just don't think they're deep enough. The Celtics have ways to beat you, even if Tatum and Brown both have bad nights. I think they're properly favored. I have them winning in 5 or 6.
Maz?
I don't think the gap is as big as the number in the standings. I don't. I'm sorry. And look, the Celtics have just had such an easy road. And I'll also add Porzingis has been out. But watching them play, watching the Celtics play, the actual games, have they impressed you?
Not particularly.
Okay, so I feel the same way. And at the end of the day, I'm not dismissing all the numbers and telling you that the numbers are wrong in this case, or even that.
Let me just finish but they are still so much better than the competition.
Correct.
So, I don't think they've needed to play all that great.
Okay.
Which is sort of a tough spot. They know they can give you a B+ effort and blow doors. So that's where I think they are.
And look, the other part of it is, this whole idea that Dallas is a completely different team in the last 30 games may or may not be true. I mean, again, they feel different. At the end of the day, this to me comes down to the Celtics. I don't trust them. I don't think people trust them. And so until they win, people aren't going to trust them. They've been there 6 times now in the conference finals, the second trip to the finals. I think it's about the Celtics. I think it's about having taken the cheese before and that looking at them now and saying, I don't care what the win total is when they get into a real matchup. And I do think despite what the numbers are, I think it's a real matchup. Yes, they're favored. Yes, on paper, they're better, particularly if Porzingis plays. All true. They're the Celtics. They're the Jason Tatum Celtics, and they have found ways to blow it in the last 5 or 6 years.
And with what you're saying, so this part I agree. If they were to lose this, I don't think it's more about the Mavericks than it is about the Celtics.
Correct.
Them getting in their own way, Tatum deciding for whatever reason, maybe he's jealous of Brown getting that MVP in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now it's my time to shine, and it becoming too Tatum-centric. Yeah, if they do those kind of things, they could lose it. But that's ultimately about them, not about the Mavericks. So again, if you're asking, just in terms of Vegas favorites, how people feel about them, no, I think they're properly favored because they're better than Dallas. They should be.
So it's a re-entry Monday.
2-1.
You can call us on whatever you want. All right, that's the way it goes on Mondays. And re-entry Mondays are brought to you by Blue Bear Plumbing. When it comes to plumbing, heating, and air, no one compares to Blue Bear. When you call Blue Bear, you can expect expert service from their friendly staff for all your heating and plumbing services. For more information or to book your appointment today, visit bluebearplumbing.com. We're going to start with Celtics and do a lot of Celtics. And I guess just my question to you is, are you as confident in the series as Vegas is? I mean, and the historical ramifications of it. We started talking about this, Maz, a couple weeks ago. I said, I don't think any team has ever won the way Dallas is trying to win. This isn't the league. And I said it just in general terms without looking it up or, seeing some of the stats or the history related to it. I said they're a middle-of-the-pack team that had a good trade deadline. Those teams don't win the championship. It's not. The league's is more parity than ever. I got it. But has it gone that far where 5 seeds come out of the – so I just had that general take, right? Well, it turns out it's the case. Let me give you a better one. This was from The Athletic. Every champion but one for the last 44 years has been a top 3 seed with at least 52 wins. And again, they prorated over an 82-game schedule if it was a strike-shortened season or a COVID year or something like that. But every champion but one for the last 44 years has been a top 3 seed with at least 52 wins and a +3 net rating. And that will hold up if Boston prevails in the NBA Finals. But not if Dallas wins. So again, that one team that I assume they don't put it here, but I think it was that Houston Rockets team in the mid-'90s, which was their second of 2, Hakeem Olajuwon, and their second of back-to-back championships. So hardly like what the Mavericks are doing here. Otherwise, every champion comes from the top 3 seeds, 52 wins in that play. It's like if Dallas wins, it would really be unprecedented.
Correct.
No 5 seed has ever won a championship. Only 2, pre-merger, post-merger, only 2 teams have won an NBA championship lower than a 3 seed in their conference. Only 2. One was that Rockets team that I just mentioned, second of 2 in the mid-'90s. They were a 6 seed. And the other was you as a 4 seed in 1969. Bill Russell's last year, right, as a player where they had the balloons up in the Forum. Is that the year that everyone talks about?
I think so.
That's it. Other than that, you just don't win where the Mavericks are coming from. And so that's just the fact. Does it feel that way?
No.
Not to you, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Again, and I come back to, because Murray's right. I think you can look at the Mavs and say, do I think that they are different than they were at the beginning of the year? Yes, I do. I think they're a different team. I think they play differently. You can say that and not pick Dallas for that reason. You pick Dallas, if you believe in that, for something else. And that is that the Celtics will find a way to screw it up. Somehow, some way, and I don't know what that's going to be. It might be Tatum not playing at his best. It might be, Brown missing a free throw. You can go with any particular, a shortcoming you want. But something will pop up that will prevent them from winning the way it did against Golden State, the way it did against Miami last year. Somehow, some way, they will leave the door ajar, a crack, and Dallas and Doncic will burst through.
Does it concern you they don't have the best player in the series? If they don't, I'm not even willing to people have sort of conceded, yeah, Doncic's the best player in the series, but you've got the next 2 or, whatever.
Right.
I'm not even willing to concede that Doncic is the best player in the series, but for the point of this, does it concern you if the Celtics don't have the best player in the series?
A little bit.
No, because I think they're just overall deeper and better, 2 through 7 than Dallas. Like, Doncic is out of his mind right now, but let him get 35. He was basically doing it in the regular season games that they lost to the Celtics this year, too.
I mean, when people say best player, they're really just talking about scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, so you add everything up. Is Doncic the best player in the series?
Well, they're not weighted equally, though. Offense and defense aren't weighted equally.
What's their pie? I want to take Tatum over Doncic. I do.
I think Dakota tweeted this to me. Let me look this up.
And I think that I still feel like Tatum has more to give. He's not shooting well. And he's not shooting to his capability. So his shot is off, and it's been off for a while. So I understand that. So he's not as potent offensively as Doncic would be, but the volume total is still close.
Sure.
He's averaging 30 points a game, for Pete's sake, in the playoffs. So even though he's not shooting well, he's still at that number. What if he starts to shoot a little bit better? And then he defends much better than Doncic. It's not even close. And they both rebound well. I think Tatum's a better rebounder. I know the numbers are similar. I'm not even willing to concede that Doncic is the best all-around player. Does pie factor in defense?
Oh, I'm sure.
And how do they do it? Is it
I'm
just
sure.
like steals, blocks, that sort of thing? Or is there some sort of zone rating, or do they do some sort of, what I'm saying, catch-all defensive thing that's not just based on a number?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the formula is, but let me ask it to you this way, because I think who controls the game better when they're on the floor?
On both ends, Tatum.
See, I think it's Doncic.
I mean, obviously, offensively, that's the one we all see, but
I think that is weighted more. In other words, in my head, it is, because the game matters more when you have the ball. In basketball, a good offense will score. It'll score. So can you somehow mitigate that? That's really hard to dominate a game defensively anymore. It's hard to do.
It factors in both rebounds, defensive and offensive rebounds, blocks, steals, and turnovers.
Okay, so there is no judgment there. It's just based on those numbers. You got a pie for me?
Right. The number?
Doncic's pie?
In the postseason or
Tatum's pie? I don't know.
Well, in the regular season,
Tell me something that tells a story.
Doncic was 5th in the league in pie during the regular season. The highest Celtic was Jason Tatum, who's 25th.
How about postseason?
Okay, postseason, this gets, I have to set some filters because it includes everybody. So, guys who played minimal amounts.
Well, hold on. I mean, I'll talk while you futz around with that.
Okay, so you're going to have to give me a...
No, I got it. I got it.
But among regular players, the highest in pie were Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then Doncic was 3rd.
And you see Tatum anywhere near the top there?
Tatum is behind Donovan Mitchell. Tatum's behind Anthony Edwards.
All right.
Oh, there he is. He's 6th.
6th. All right, so not that... I'm not even going to ask you for the godforsaken number. Someone's got a 5, someone's got a 3.
Doncic has got 18. Tatum is 15.3.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I know, but okay.
Know.
Just to give me some sort of reference. Tatum's pie is still prodigious.
Close.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's not shooting well.
Correct.
So I think Tatum's in much better shape. Obviously.
No, that's a given.
Okay. Obviously more athletic. I know he's better defensively. I know the rebounding numbers are similar to the raw numbers. I think he's a better rebounder. He's got a better team. I'll put it to you like this. Everyone that says Doncic is the best player in the series and that's just the way that is, he shouldn't be. Tatum should be every bit as good as Luka Doncic, if not better.
Should be.
Tatum's a little off, okay? His shot's been a little off. And so if he just shoots better, he should be the best player in the series and you shouldn't have to worry about it. But even if he's not, is that a concern? Usually the best player wins, right? What if you don't have it? How about that? Does that interest you?
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.